dead to mine to do a little walking. A reputation never meant that much to me.
And welcome everybody to the Primary Politics Podcast. I'm Hum Wasden alongside John Manos. We've been out for a little bit.
Yep. We're on a little break.
Little hiatus, but we're back nonetheless. Today we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff, mainly the wall. John, what do you got for us?
Got some wall talk. A lot of stuff happened while we were on our little break. One being that we got new Speaker of the House, and she's not a big fan of the wall.
No.
She's not a big fan of the wall at all. Well, first, they wanted it to be concrete, not steel.
Right.
And now they think it should be steel and not concrete. Then the budget, now it's apparently America can't afford a concrete wall.
Even though it's interesting to point out that it's 10% of 1% of our national spending annually. So.
And it's interesting. I heard a stat that it would cost around $500 million. And no, it's illegal immigrants in this country. They cost cumulatively around $500 million, and they said the wall.
No, it's $500 billion.
$500 billion.
Yeah, no,
yeah, not million.
And that's just off. When you look at the cost of social services as well as like more free rider stuff, and it's true. I mean, the long term spending is definitely the problem. And the thing that really bothers me is that Democrats keep saying we need border security, But what is that to them if it's not a physical barrier? I mean, over the past few weeks, we've heard from experts in the field, Border Patrol agents on the ground, and they've all said that, physical barrier would put an end to not only illegal immigration, but you have to look at the drugs coming across the border. I mean, almost all of the of fentanyl and opiate that's getting into this country is coming across the southern border.
And President Trump made a good point. It's a promotion of sex trafficking. The women that come across the border, he talked about they would tape them up and they'd bring them across the border in cars to and from America. That building a wall would cut off a huge sex trafficking avenue for illegal immigrants coming in and out of this country. I'd never thought about that. And it's interesting that Mexico has just passed legislation to increase their border security on the Yucatan Peninsula, which is the southern border between Mexico and Guatemala and Mexico and Belize.
Right. It is interesting that Mexico's, taking those steps to secure their borders while we get scolded for taking steps. Now, other big news on that and more with Pelosi is today old Nancy was scheduled to go on a overseas trip over to North Africa to visit Egypt and also the Middle East. Just about... pretty close to when she was supposed to leave. Trump hit her with a letter saying she can't go, mainly calling it a budgetary issue. Let me pull up that letter right now. This is what the president says here. Dear Madam Speaker, due to the shutdown, I'm sorry to inform you that your trip to Brussels, Egypt, and Afghanistan has been postponed. We will reschedule this 7-day excursion when the shutdown is over. In light of the 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay, I am sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate. I also feel that during this period, it would be better if you were in Washington negotiating with me and joining the strong border security movement to end the shutdown. Obviously, if you would like to make your journey by flying commercial, that would certainly be your prerogative. I look forward to seeing you soon and even more forward to watching our open and dangerous southern border finally receive the attention, funding, and security it so desperately deserves! Exclamation point. Sincerely, Donald Trump. He hit her with an exclamation point.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing passive about that.
No, and I
like
think
it.
He's done with it. He's not taking any BS.
It's funny. He's gonna get nobody is gonna the left is just gonna hate this. They're not gonna reason with it at all. But I think he's out of all the presidents we've ever had, and I'm not an expert on shutdowns, but he's putting the most pressure on the opposing side.
Yeah.
I mean, even Barack Obama just kind of sat and waited when Mick Mulvaney and the Freedom Caucus put pressure on him to shut the government down. Trump is going after their necks, which makes me think he's going to win this. He's going to get his...
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are saying Trump's reaction to Pelosi is kind of based off the letter she sent earlier urging him to delay the State of the Union address. But I think it's important to recognize, and you just brought up a good point, is that the president shows no signs of stopping. And I think what it comes down to is the president is looking to his base for strength right now, and his base is showing no signs of turning on him. You know, these thousands, hundreds of thousands of federal workers that are not receiving pay, you know, that stinks, but they're not his base. And I don't think he really cares, or he's going to care, about coming to a compromise without border security unless his base starts turning on him. Because, I mean, I know tons of people, that would not vote for him if he caves on this. And I think he knows that. I think he knows that 2020, his chances of winning is riding on this.
I'm glad you brought that up, because this wall is part of the reason, I think, that pushed him into victory this last
Oh, for
night.
sure.
If this wall gets built, if the wall doesn't get built, you know, you can always say he didn't have enough time, the Democrats were too stubborn.
But I think he'll get drilled.
I think he will too. But I'm saying if the wall does get built, that's that much more beneficial for him.
Right.
And the Democrats know, they're smart about this. This is a campaign. This is a campaign plus for Trump, so they don't care about the budget. They don't care about the security.
No.
They're trying to make sure that this promise isn't kept, so they can say that in the next election.
Right. They also could not care less about the morality of the wall.
No. I mean that goes without saying.
Yeah, you look at Pelosi, you look at Schumer, you look at Obama when he was in the Senate.
Look at Clinton, and look at the whole Benghazi situation.
Well, just
covering that
think
up
about
for
it.
a campaign.
Think about it. All the people I just listed voted for increased border security in the past. And it's interesting to note that I think Trump changing it from a cement wall to a steel barrier is genius, because in the past, what they voted for was a steel barrier.
It's a fence.
So what's difference? What is different between the steel barrier that the Democrats voted for then and the steel barrier now? The only difference is that Trump is president, and now it's immoral. I mean, how can you why wasn't the wall immoral in 2006? Why wasn't it immoral in 2008? Why wasn't it immoral during all these times when they were voting for it?
Well, I mean, there's these pages on these social medias now that pull up people like Barack Obama saying, we need border security and we need it now.
Right.
Chuck Schumer voted for the fence back in, I think, 09 or 08, I don't remember. So did Clinton, so did Pelosi. They want a fence, they wanted border security, but now that that's Trump's main, I guess, axis point on his campaign, they can't support that. They can't afford to support that as Democrats. It's about party politics now. It's not about morality.
It 100% is. No, the morality argument is such BS, and I think everyone's seeing right through it. So how do you see this ending for the president?
I think Donald Trump's going to come out on top.
Really?
Usually the shutdown, it could go either way. It didn't work too well for Congress back when Obama was the president. I think he's putting more pressure on the Speaker of the House than any other president has. I also think Pelosi has more pressure on her right now than anybody has ever than she's ever had. I don't think Pelosi has ever faced more pressure in this situation.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Republicans still have the majority. So they have the majority in the Senate, and then the judiciary. I mean, not that that's going to help, but if any sort of case of judicial review comes up,
right,
then that can help. But I think that with the slight Republican majority holding the executive branch and the Senate, I think the pressure that Trump's putting on Pelosi and the fact that he's not backing down, I think some Democrats are going to wise up and say, look, this is not beneficial for our country to hold out like this.
But are we going to have an issue in the Senate where Republicans all of a sudden turn away and say no?
I guess I can only hope not. We saw that with Ryan even. We saw that with Republicans just speaking out against him rhetorically, like Graham and Romney. Now, Graham has gone the opposite way. Graham has come more towards Trump. We've seen politicians like him start to side with the presidency, but I personally think that as Republicans, Trump's going to have a decently loyal base on this wall.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting to say, because there's been a lot of talk about whether the president's going to declare a state of emergency. What do you think about that?
I think he has the right to. Because, at the end of the day, it's just about getting the wall done.
Yeah. It's interesting because he does have the right to, but you have to understand he has to be very careful in the way he goes about that because, it's going to go to court either way, especially if he says that this was an emergency. And so if they send it to a vote and it fails and then he declares a state of emergency, it'll get struck down by the courts. Mm-hmm. Even now when he's whipping votes, I think the president has to be very careful not to overcommit himself to whipping these votes too hard, because then when he declares a state of emergency, if he has to, then
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
My personal opinion on the state of emergency is, as Democrats, I don't want him to do that. I don't think it's wise for Democrats to hold out and employ him to call a state of emergency, because I think the courts have likelier chance to rule in his favor just because of partisanship.
So here's how, and I was thinking about this the other night. I think this is Trump's easiest way out, and I think it may, unfortunately, be the most probable at this point, is the House puts up a bill that doesn't include border security. They put up a funding bill that doesn't include border security. It gets passed by the House, passed by the Senate. Trump vetoes it.
Okay.
Then Congress overrules his veto.
Does he veto it, or does he pocket veto it? Is he leaving it on his desk, or do you think Trump's personality is going to make him veto that with a pen?
No, I think he vetoes it with a pen because he sends it back to them. They overrule him, so the government gets funded. The wall doesn't get built, but Trump can say, "I did everything I could. I vetoed the bill. I shut down the government. They overruled me," and that gives Trump a way out. And I think that's probably going to.
You think that'll happen? I think that's possible. I can't remember the last time a president was overruled from a veto. I'm sure it's happened, but that's a very unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen often for sure, but it's.
That would say a lot negative about the Republicans in office right now, about how they don't support a president just because of his name, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
So, I mean, that could happen. I think that's a very logical way of thinking about it, but I personally think this wall is going to get built.
Yeah?
I think we'll have to fight tooth and nail for it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just too logical. This isn't the Space Force, which wasn't illogical, but at least it took some abstract thinking.
Right.
This is just so easy of an answer. I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're Democrat, I don't care if you're Green. This is an easy fix.
Right.
My analogy is everything nice has borders. When I drive into my country club, I got to go through a gate, right? Mm-hmm. Wake Forest University has a gate. I think America has a gate to keep people out, not keep people in. I don't think that's corrupt. So I think that logically this wall, it's going to come through.
Yeah. All right, moving on, we're going to talk about some wackos we've seen throughout the week. Starting, John, what you got for us?
I got to pull up my girl, Alexandria. This is a video from Twitter, so pardon my poor timing. But this is essentially Congressman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Ocasio-Cortez, come on now.
Democrat from the New York 14th District. The caption from Hal Lambert is, she skipped a few civics classes. Now, she was an econ major, so we keep that in mind. She was? Yeah, she was an econ major. And she, essentially, she is describing what the Democrats need to do to attain victory. So, listen in. Hold on, let me make sure you get it.
To make sure that, and if we work our butts off, to make sure that we take back all three chambers of Congress, all three chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House.
So she corrects herself from three chambers of Congress, which that's one too many. We're bicameral, not tricameral. She goes to three chambers of government, which, okay, if you want to use the word chambers, you're not incorrect. The presidency, the House, and the Senate. I don't know where the judiciary went in that, but she had two tries, and she missed them on both.
Yeah.
But she's not the expert in geopolitics. I forgot about that.
And speaking of the judiciary, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, health issues continue.
Another very moderate judge.
Yeah.
Was she the one who said that she has at least... Or she will continue to the end of Trump's term? Was that the one who said that?
Yeah, she wants to continue to the end of Trump's term. Her health is notably declining. She's missed a few oral arguments. I think she's missed 2 at this point. She's going to miss another. An amazing story. She has an amazing life story. Has served her country faithfully for years now. But Trump might get a third pick.
Well, if he does, I mean, he's already got the majority right now,
right?
And that's going to be just as controversial as Kennedy. As Kavanaugh in the Kennedy seat. When I played that video earlier of Graham saying why was the Kavanaugh nomination more controversial than the Gorsuch nomination, is because it's the Kennedy seat.
Right.
The Ruth Bader Ginsburg seat, if it is given up, Trump's going to appoint a conservative judge. And that's going to be just a whole nother... He's going to get accused of rape, he or she.
Yeah.
He or she will get accused of rape, obviously. Or any other sort of, illegal activity. So that will be interesting to see if she gives up her term before.
It'll be... they'll be fighting tooth and nail for sure. All right, I got another video for you real quick. This is really just in. Ronna McDaniel, GOP chairwoman, tweeted this. This is on CNN. This is... Congressional Rep Omar. She's the first Somali American elected to Congress. She just began, and this is something that she decided to say on CNN.
I do want to ask you also about your comments on Israel, to remind people what you tweeted about Israel in 2012 during the offensive in Gaza. You wrote, "Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel." You've commented a lot since then, trying to explain what you meant by that. And I wonder just what your message is this morning as the first on our Game Changers series to Jewish Americans who find that deeply offensive.
Oh, that's really a regrettable way of expressing that. I don't know how my comments would be offensive to Jewish Americans. My comments precisely are addressing what was happening during the Gaza war. And I am clearly speaking about the way that the Israeli regime was conducting itself in that war.
Well, there you have it.
I like that. A lot of reason behind that. I mean, just another hero defending peaceful Palestine.
Yeah.
Innocent, peaceful Palestine. That's...
Yeah.
If it's funny. If we said... Any Republican said that about Palestine, about how they're hypnotizing the world, there'd be an outrage on the left.
Oh, for sure. For sure. She has another one here. She had another tweet. I'll play this one for you. This is also on CNN. Look at CNN, man.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. Here it is.
We could all live in.
Well, positive one. We need to ask you about this. You tweeted, we're going to put this up on the screen, regarding Republican Congressman Senator Lindsey Graham. I believe we have this tweet saying they got him, he is compromised. And there it is. I wonder if you'd explain what you were talking about there. This has sparked a fair amount of criticism, not just from Republicans. Can you explain that comment?
So over the last 3 years, we have seen many times where Senator Lindsey Graham has told us how dangerous this president could be if he was given the opportunity to be in the White House. And all of a sudden, he's made not only a 180 turnaround, but a 360 turnaround. And so I'm pretty sure that there is something happening with him, whether it is something that has to do with his funding when it comes to running for office, whether it has something to do with the polling that they might have in his district, or whether it has to do with some sort of leadership within the Senate. He is somehow compromised to no longer stand up for the truth and to make sure that he is fighting to protect the oath that he took in serving the American people.
But that's quite a charge to make. You say you're pretty sure. Based on what evidence? What facts? That's a remarkable comment to make about a sitting U.S. senator.
The evidence really is present to us. It's being presented to us in the way that he's behaving.
But that's not evidence. That's your opinion. But now, as a sitting member of Congress, you would have tweeted, they got him on this. Again, just based on what evidence, Congresswoman?
My tweet was just an opinion based on what I believe to be visible to me, and I'm pretty sure there are lots of Americans who agree on this.
I do want to ask you also...
She's pretty sure. She's pretty sure, everyone. She's pretty sure.
Also
God, what a train wreck.
Her facts, it's her opinion that once was facts.
Yeah.
That's good. And she, what was it? Not only has he made a 180-degree turnaround from Republican to Republican.
360.
Now it's 360 from Republican then to Republican, and now he's a Republican.
Right.
That's quite a concept. I think that just flew over my head.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's ridiculous. And, I mean, it's just continuing to show you how irrational some of these freshmen congressmen and women are that the Democrats have brought in. And the Democrats realize this. Established Democrats. Mm-hmm. Nancy Pelosi she's not liking the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes.
Even Barack Obama took a while to endorse her. He ended up endorsing her, which was kind of disappointing.
Right.
But I'm not the biggest Obama fan, but at least he stood for a as rational as the Democratic Party can get.
Because she is not rational. And you see,
she's not.
they got put on no House subcommittees. They got totally balled.
They're sitting there in their offices.
Well, Nancy didn't put any. She didn't give them any responsibilities outside of just normal voting.
They've also been in the game since Nixon or H.W. Bush at least.
Right. Right.
And they've seen the degeneration of the intellect and what we're dealing with now. And I think Nancy and Chuck are smart enough to realize, look, these idiots that we're electing, they can't be on our board because there are smart Democrats out there.
Right. No, you're 100% right. It's ridiculous. It's gotten out of hand. The left is going so far to the left, and the right is moving to the right as well. I get that. There's a lot of polarization going on, but some of these Democrats are just out of control.
Yeah, it's sad. I want to bring it now to something. Speaking of far left, I'm going to read a quick banner of it's the Wake Forest Democratic Socialists. I'm going to go over this real quick and just kind of advertise what's going on. It's the Spring 2019 General Interest Meeting, Thursday, January 17th at 7 p.m. for the Wake Forest Young Democratic Socialists. Wake Forest, where we are now. So what's on the agenda, you might ask? There's 4 points. Number 1 is support campus workers. So they're going to get to their meeting and they're just going to all of a sudden start supporting, which is good.
Right.
And then they're going to go straight from supporting to point number 2, oppose the downtown Confederate monument. So you don't need to know where it is, what it is, but it's downtown, it's Confederate. So they're going to go straight from supporting to opposing. So now they're opposing the downtown Confederate monument. Then they're going to go to support survivors of sexual assault, which, I think everyone can do that. That's not anti-conservative at all. And then they're going to cap it off with solidarity with Palestine. So that's my favorite.
They're all over the place.
So they're going to go from supporting to opposing, back to supporting, and they're gonna just do a little cool down solidarity.
Also, those are just like, those are just outlandish. Like they're like goals with just no. It's like support campus workers. How? Well, I think most people around here support campus workers. They're nice to them.
I say thank you.
I always say thank you. I always talk to them. How are they going to support? That is a ridiculous statement.
Support sexual assault victims. What? I feel your pain. Like, what are they going to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that everyone's called to do, not just a Democratic Socialist.
Right.
Like, and they're using that, like, we're going to do what those dirty Republicans don't do, and we're going to support sexual assault victims.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
My favorite, though, is opposing downtown Confederate monument. We don't need to take it down as long as it knows it's opposed. A lot of bad thoughts and bad vibes are going towards that monument. Forget taking action, right? Let's just oppose it.
Right.
So that I always thought, that was interesting. I took a picture of that today. That's what we're dealing with, America.
It is. And people like that are in Congress.
People like that are in Congress. That's
which is scary. That's the most ridiculous. At least the Republican freshman congressmen and women are like people like Dan Crenshaw. Yeah.
People
like badass. Yeah, and rational human being, and not saying that someone has been compromised because they support the president, or not saying that someone did a 360-degree turn without realizing that that's a circle.
Without realizing that they're back to normal.
Right. So it is ridiculous.
Or the 3 chambers of the House.
Right. It's just
a big house.
It's brutal. I cannot. And I'm glad that CNN did some due diligence on that.
Yeah, that was impressive too. I liked what I heard from CNN on that.
But how can you not?
That's true.
How can you
that's
not?
CNN being logical, but that's honestly anti-democratic at this point. CNN being logical was honestly CNN being conservative in 2019.
You know how I think. I think anytime you're logical, you're being conservative.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should.
Especially
but it should
when
be
it comes to
two sides of logic.
It is. It has been a ridiculous week in news. The government shutdown is continuing on, no end in sight. I don't think Trump cares. I think he is going to hold on to this shutdown until he gets a wall.
And he knows he should. Even if he doesn't get this wall, you're right. He needs to show that he tried, that he went down swinging.
Yeah.
He has an obligation to the country,
because he's kept almost every one of his promises.
He's people who say he's done nothing. They're
wrong. Look at the aggressive deregulation of business.
I don't know what they're reading. They're probably reading Viceland or something at this point. But Trump, this letter to Pelosi, it's just more pressure. The dinner for Clemson, which I thought was funny and symbolic. It's just, he does it in every mannerism. I'm sure he does it at home. I'm sure Melania's tired of it. I'm sure in every way he carries his life, he is pushing this shutdown.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and I've always said this about him, is he is unrelentless in the way that he is not a politician. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care. He will be chirpy. He'll get in your face. Yeah. He'll do things that, do you think Bush would have done what Trump just did to Pelosi?
No, that's why HW and W went for Clinton. It's not that they're more liberal. It's just that they're these uppity kind of politician people.
Right.
It's all business. Trump's down and dirty. He goes for the knees, which I think there's some respect for that.
Yeah, Trump is gritty.
He's mean.
And and when he gets pissed off, I think the worst thing if I was a Democrat would to get nicknamed by Trump. If you get a Trump nickname, you're done.
I think Pocahontas is probably the most said.
Pocahontas is a great nickname.
Oh yeah, it's perfect too.
Yeah. So now we're going to kind of transition into talking about our last topic, 2020 Democratic candidates.
Oh, here we go. I'm sure these are all going to be...
Everyone and their mother is running.
It's just like the Republican Party last year.
It is. It's ridiculous.
Well, everyone thinks if old stupid Donald Trump, who didn't go to a good college and who didn't make money and who just isn't smart, won, I can win. Yeah. Neglecting the fact that he went to Wharton and made thousands and billions of dollars off of real estate.
Yeah.
He's still stupid, though, because I said so.
Right. It's the most ridiculous... it is. It's a ridiculous thing to say. And,
You pulling the candidates up right now?
Yeah, let me pull them up. All right, so the declared candidates so far, we have Julian Castro, who declared recently, I think last week. He's a former head secretary under Obama. He was a mayor of San Antonio. He announced January 12th. Next, we have John Delaney, just about the ugliest-looking congressman you can ever find. U.S. House Rep from Maryland's 6th District. He's ugly. Super ugly.
It's going to factor.
Next up, we have a military guy, Richard Ojeda. He's originally from Rochester, Minnesota. He's a West Virginia state senator. And he was a Democratic nominee for U.S. Representative from West Virginia in 2018. Other candidates, we have Michael E. Arth. He's from England.
Oh, that's good.
Are they even allowed?
Founding fathers.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're throwing it all the way back.
Yeah.
He is an artist, builder, architectural designer, and public policy analyst.
Oh, thank God.
He's an independent.
Justin Trudeau was a drama teacher, so.
Yeah, well.
If Canada can do it, why can't we?
Oh, we got a Georgia guy.
There we go.
Yeah, Harry Braun from Crompton, California, now lives in Georgia. He's a renewable energy consultant and researcher. He was a candidate for U.S. Rep from GA11 in 2018, candidate for president in 2016, for president in 2012, and president in 2004. Yikes. He was the Democratic nominee for U.S. Representative from Arizona in 86, Democratic nominee for U.S. Representative from Arizona in 84 as well. This guy just is bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah.
Next we have Ken Nwadiki Jr.
There's a vote.
Yeah, he's from California, San Diego. He's a documentary filmmaker, motivational speaker, and peace activist.
Okay.
We have another Georgia boy, Robbie Wells, Bartow, Georgia, former college football coach.
There you go.
Running as an independent candidate for president in 2016. Constitution candidate for president. He ran as a Constitution candidate in 2012.
Staunchly conservative.
Yeah. Next, we have Andrew Yang. He's from New York. He is an entrepreneur, public servant, and founder of Venture for America. This is getting ridiculous. Obviously, we all know who else is coming. Pocahontas.
She will be there.
I'm sorry, but I think Trump will rip her apart.
Oh, he is going... That's going to be his finale.
Yeah.
Is tearing her.
But now, listen, I think someone we do have to worry about, and I know a lot of people dismiss him because he lost to Ted Cruz, who's the second ugliest man in politics, actually, after we've seen this guy.
Ted's up there, though.
Yeah, for sure, especially with the beard.
Yeah.
Is Beto.
Yeah, Beto has garnered a ton of support.
Yeah.
He's always been popular. This last election, this loss might have been the best thing for him.
I honestly think so too. I think but gosh, he's young. He's young, and but I will say, I mean, people like candidates like Bernie, nobody's talking about Bernie. People are talking about Beto.
I think Bernie's time, I feel, is come. And Beto is known for not being insanely liberal. Now, when you read his policies, he's just as liberal as the next guy, but I think he's keeping his rhetoric somewhat decent.
Right.
But we could very well see him in the running.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I think he's going to do better than like a Martin O'Malley or a Lincoln Schaff.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if he'll get up to the Hillary status.
But I think the Democratic Party is pushing out older candidates. They want the new stuff.
They do want the new stuff. It's just a strategy now. They're just looking.
But what about Kamala Harris?
I'll be honest with you. I don't really know the first thing about that girl.
Yeah, I mean, Democratic senator on judicial. She opposed Kavanaugh hard.
I remember that. That's the only thing I remember about her. I wasn't surprised.
She's good. I would have always, I've always said that I thought Cory Booker was going to be president, but after the Kavanaugh hearings, I don't think so. I think he's gotten too gung-ho, too far left, just to keep up with the times within his own party. But because I used to say he could be a real unifier, but I don't think so anymore. He's gone way over.
Booker is obviously pretty sick of Trump. He was sick of Trump before Trump came.
Yeah.
I don't think.
He has Trump derangement syndrome.
I see O'Rourke. Yeah. So do a lot of people now.
Yeah.
I see O'Rourke in there above really all of them. I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah. Now, what about Hillary?
She'll
get. I think she'll lose again.
I think
there's no way.
I think the Clintons have seen their day.
Just take your ball and go home.
Yeah, I mean, she's been successful.
Just shut up. Yeah,
I mean, I think she
go run your completely scandalous charity.
Yeah, your charity.
Your fake charity.
Alleged charity organization.
Yeah, your charity that literally 92% of the donations go towards salaries.
Yeah, your non-profit organization.
Yeah.
You're better off doing that. You're successful doing that. I think the Clintons literally are here to oppose big-name Republicans.
Oh, for sure.
I am convinced that Bill Clinton came about to oppose George Bush and make sure Jeb Bush, who was being groomed for the presidency, didn't win.
Yeah.
Then George.
Dude, Jeb is. Oh my gosh, Jeb is.
I'm glad little George came in. I'm glad.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. But it definitely will be interesting to see that going forward, to see how Pocahontas will interact with Beto, to see kind of who the party will take sides on, because the party does candidates dirty. Bernie got screwed.
Bernie did get screwed, and then he tried to give his voters to Clinton, and they didn't want to do that.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see. But honestly, I think the Democratic Party they want someone young, and they want a woman.
They do. I think Clinton did garner a lot of votes. Her famous, the Women for Hillary. I like the sound of that.
Right. But the issue is that they keep finding these. That's why I think Kamala Harris could do so well, is because Kamala Harris comes across as genuine. Mm-hmm. She's someone who you're like, oh, I could probably sit down and have a conversation with her.
She doesn't really come across as a lunatic.
Right. Hillary's a brick wall.
Oh, yeah.
She's never made a statement in her life without it being run through 200 staff members.
No, and she's known for being corrupt. I mean, Benghazi was like the cherry on top.
And I think if someone like Pocahontas is going to be the same thing as Hillary.
Well, Pocahontas is a laughing stock.
Polished. She's an old
she
polished
to me is no
politician.
different than Maxine Waters. Just a laughing stock.
No, Maxine Waters is a loopy.
But I think Pocahontas is loopy. I think they're all just laughing stocks. I think they're old. I don't think they had a time.
Well, I still think the funniest thing is Trump chirping Pocahontas for her video.
I didn't see that.
Oh, I'm going to get me a beer.
I did with her husband.
With her husband. Thank you for being here. It's nice that you're here. No, it's your home.
Yeah, I would hope he's there. That is funny. I didn't see that.
All right, well, that's about all we have for today. We've gone a little over. It's been a while. Had to catch up. Thanks for joining us, and we should be back next week. We'll keep you updated on the Twitter. Give us a follow, Primary Politics. Everyone have a great day, and go Dogs.
God bless America.